I'm an imposter, here to help you with Imposter Syndrome. Hello, this is Writing and Wellness. And normally I would say that I'm Colleen M. Story, but Colleen M. Story is an imposter. She thinks that her successes are caused by her hard work and dedication. You too may be plagued by imposter syndrome. Someone like me may be visiting with you right now, convincing you that what you've done means nothing. Your efforts as a writer, they really had nothing to do with any successes that you may be experiencing. And one day, all your friends and family and readers will figure it out. So, what is imposter syndrome, you may ask? It was discovered back in 1978. Psychologists Chance and Imes first described it as this feeling like whatever you do has really nothing to do with your accomplishments. If you're not sure whether imposter syndrome is in your life right now, watch for these signs. Do you feel like your accomplishments are due to luck or something else outside your control? Do you find ways to negate any evidence to the contrary? Do you fear that someone will discover that you are an imposter and have a generalized feeling of anxiety? Do you lack self-confidence or feel frustrated at your lack of ability to reach your own self-imposed standards? Do you see achievement as a way to gain approval and base your self-worth on this ability to achieve? And do you frequently engage in negative self-talk? If you're experiencing these types of symptoms, you may want to get rid of them. After all, they're not very pleasant. I have a few things that may help. Researchers have discovered it's when we step out of our comfort zones that imposter syndrome is most likely to show up. You are a student again when you try something new, so it leaves you feeling rather vulnerable. This is when imposter syndrome tends to raise its ugly head. So the solution is to try new things more often. Then you will realize that it's normal. We are all students of life, and certainly we are students of writing. Embrace that uncomfortable feeling, then it will no longer cause you to feel like you're an imposter. Scientists have found that people prone to imposter syndrome tend to be very hard-working. It's because they think that they don't yet have the skills they need to actually succeed, and any success that they have had is due to pure luck. So they tend to work harder to achieve their goals. So the trick is to simply embrace the work harder mantra. There's nothing wrong with working hard toward your writing dreams, and sometimes imposter syndrome can be a good motivator, and hard work usually produces success. American mystery writer Mabel Seeley is quoted as saying, "There's less skill and more plain hard work to writing than anyone except a writer thinks." Here's a secret. If you're experiencing imposter syndrome, it's often a sign that you're becoming a better writer. You're learning more, which is illustrating to you how much more you actually have to learn. Anne Friedman, writing for Pacific Standard, had this to say: "Some experts point out that the more you learn, the more you realize you have yet to learn. Imposter syndrome is, for many people, a natural symptom of gaining expertise." The suggestion is to dive in a little deeper, educate yourself even more, learn more about the craft of writing, because something else happens as you educate yourself. You become more educated. and you become more experienced. And education and experience gradually chases away imposter syndrome. Here's another surprise. Those who experience imposter syndrome are often very high achievers. Likely, if you are experiencing this, you have already achieved much. John Steinbeck, the great writer, wrote in his diary, "I'm not a writer. I've been fooling myself and other people." That is a clear statement made from imposter syndrome. Now you know how good a writer John Steinbeck was. So if you're experiencing imposter syndrome, you're in good company. Let's face it, writing is not a comfy occupation. We'd all love to feel more comfortable as writers. This is not reality. You can write a story about a writer who feels super confident and sails through all her accomplishments with a big smile on her face. But in the real world, it's much more likely that you're going to suffer from things like imposter syndrome. To better cope with it, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Realize that sometimes imposter syndrome is going to come around and tell you that you have not really done anything for your accomplishments, that it's all just been luck, and one of these days everyone is going to find out. Experiencing imposter syndrome is a good sign that you are learning more about writing. Embrace the discomfort and get back to work. If you have an experience with imposter syndrome, please share it with us in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. And Colleen M. Story would ask you to please subscribe and give a thumbs up if you like this video. If she were here, but of course, she's just an imposter.